in. He was thinking that the meeting stopped.
Yeah, I think Vijay joined back. Right, Vijay?
Okay.
Yeah,
Back in again.
I joined back. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just saying free
We
meeting.
cut off every week. We cut off at 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Just joined back. I think Rishikesh Prabhu, I don't know if he knows. Yeah, I don't have my phone with me right now. If anyone can text Rishikesh Prabhu just in case. Okay.
I'll text him.
Okay. You started the next verse, Prabhuji?
Yeah, start the next verse.
9.33. Kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajashrestha stata anityam sukham lokamimam prapya bhajashvamam. How much more this is so of the righteous Brahmans, the devotees and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Right?
In this material world, there are classifications of people, but after all, this world is not a happy place for anyone. It is clearly stated here, Anityam Asukham Lokam. This world is temporary and full of miseries, not habitable for any sane gentleman. This world is declared by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be temporary and full of miseries. Some philosophers, especially Mayavadi philosophers, say that this world is false. But we can understand from Bhagwad Gita that the world is not false, it is temporary. There is a difference between temporary and false. This world is temporary, but there is another world which is eternal. This world is miserable, but the other world is eternal and blissful.
Vijay?
Yes. Arjuna was born in a saintly royal family. To him also the Lord says, take to my devotional service and come quickly back to Godhead, back home. No one should remain in this temporary world, full as it is with miseries. Everyone should attach himself to the bosom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that he can be eternally happy. The devotional service of the Supreme Lord is the only process by which all problems of all classes of men can be solved. Everyone should therefore take to Krishna consciousness and make his life perfect. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, any questions or comments? I have a
think
question.
the important point
Yes.
is the world is not false, it is temporary. Some people mistakenly suggest this world is a mirage and it's just a dream state.
Mm-hmm.
But we have clearly learned here, it is real but temporary.
Now, the question is this, and what your comment fits into my question is, why can't the world be false? It's impossible for the world to be false. Why?
Because God is everywhere and God is
Yes,
not false.
because Krishna made it, and it's Krishna's energy. And to say that the world is false would mean that Krishna is false.
And also would mean that we are also false, that we don't exist because we're part of the world. In other words, all living entities are false? No, we all exist. We exist eternally. But we have we're limited forms that appear and disappear. And the same thing is the world, the whole macrocosm, so to speak. So it's temporary. We know that it's real. It's interesting. I was reading an article about some philosophers who decided to set a table in front of a subway station in New York, and they were answering questions that passersby were asking, philosophical questions. And he said, the most difficult question I had, the author of the article, is this 7-year-old girl who came to me and said, do I exist? Am I real? And so, of course, he wasn't going to give this child, 7-year-old child, a long, elaborate philosophical explanation. He just said to her, close your eyes, close your eyes. And the child closed her eyes for about 20 seconds. And then he said, open your eyes. Then she opened the eyes. Are you still here? Yes, I am. So you exist. Very clever answer, because he couldn't talk philosophy to the child, but he actually made a demonstration for her to realize that, yes, I exist.
Cogito ergo sum.
Cogito ergo sum.
Yeah, well, as you say.
Descartes.
Yeah, Descartes said cogito ergo sum.
That's
Which means there, I think, therefore I am.
philosopher.
That's a philosopher, René Descartes. And now that's a little shallow because it's on the what we call the mental platform, but it's real.
Yeah.
In other words, our experience in this material world, based upon our consciousness. And where does our consciousness come from? It comes from Krishna. So therefore, we are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is the absolute truth. We're, in a sense, relative truths. Therefore, everything here in this material world is a relative truth.
I'd like to go back to the end of verse 33.
And
maybe we should skip 34 for now, for today.
We can do it twice.
Okay. So at the end of the second paragraph in 33, it says, no one should remain in this temporary world full as it is with miseries. Everyone should attach himself to the bosom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that he can be eternally happy. We all have this desire to express our affection, our love, and our devotion. Why not place that on the source of our being, on the Supreme Lord himself? And then we'll be completely fulfilled, completely satisfied. And then because of this act of love for the Supreme, we'll be eternally happy. Why not? Why not?
Gajendraji, in regard to this next verse, we can start it this time, but we'll have to start next time with the same verse because we can't do it justice in a few minutes. This is probably one of the 2 or 3 most important verses in the Gita because it deals with the highest truth the Gita speaks.
Nice. Maybe we need to do it twice.
We can do it. We can do a little once over now, and then next week we'll start off with it. It's well worth doing a couple times.
Okay. Manmanabha madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame veshyasi yukteva matmanam matparayana. So engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Sonali?
Just a quick note here that this verse is, well, half of it, the first half is the same as verse chapter 18, verse number 65. So it should be noted that there's only one double in the Bhagavad Gita, and this is it. It's mentioned twice, in the 9th chapter and the 18th chapter.
And also we have to notice that what it says here in the verse, being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So this is another point that Krishna is making. It's giving us an assurance. It's making a promise that being completely absorbed in him, surely we'll go to him.
Okay.
Sonali?
In this verse, it is clearly indicated that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this contaminated material world. Sometimes unscrupulous commentators distort the meaning of what is clearly stated here, that all devotional service should be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Unfortunately, unscrupulous commentators divert the mind of the reader to that which is not at all feasible. Such commentators do not know that there is no difference between Krishna's mind and Krishna. Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He is absolute truth. His body, his mind, and he himself are one and absolute. It is stated in Kurma Purana, as it is quoted by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami in his Anubhasa, comments on Chaitanya Charitamrita, 5th chapter, Adi Leela, verses 41 through 48. Deha Dehi Vibhedo Yam Nisvare Vidyate Savachit. This means that there is no difference in Krishna, the Supreme Lord, between himself and his body. But because the commentators do not know the science of Krishna, they hide Krishna and divide his personality from his mind or from his body. Although this is sheer ignorance of the science of Krishna, some men make profit out of misleading people.
Seema?
There are some who are demonic. They also think of Krishna, but enviously, just like King Kans, Krishna's uncle, he was also thinking of Krishna always, but he thought of Krishna as his enemy. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. That kind of thinking will not help us. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotional love. That is bhakti. One should cultivate the knowledge of Krishna continuously. What is that favorable cultivation? It is to learn that from a bona fide teacher. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have several times explained that his body is not material, but it is eternal, blissful knowledge. This kind of talk about Krishna will help one become a devotee. Understanding Krishna otherwise from the wrong source will prove fruitless.
Mukesh?
One should therefore engage his mind in the eternal form, the primal form of Krishna, with conviction in his heart that Krishna is the supreme. He should engage himself in worship. There are hundreds of thousands of temples in India for the worship of Krishna, and devotional service is practiced there. When such practice is done, one has to offer obeisances to Krishna. One should lower his head before the deity and engage his mind, his body, his activities, everything. That will make one fully absorbed in Krishna without deviation. This will help one transfer to Krishna Lok. One should not be deviated by unscrupulous commentators. One must engage in the 9 different processes of devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting about Krishna. Pure devotional service is the highest achievement of human society.
Mala Prabhu?
There is a beautiful poem about Krishna. In the 7th and 8th chapters of Bhagwad Gita have explained pure devotional service to the Lord, that is free from speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and fruitive activities. Those who are not purely sanctified may be attracted by different features of the Lord, like the impersonal Brahmajyoti and localized Paramatma, but a pure devotee directly takes to the service of the Supreme Lord. There is a beautiful poem about Krishna in which it is clearly stated that any person who is engaged in the worship of demigods is most unintelligent and cannot achieve at any time the supreme award of Krishna. The devotee in the beginning may sometimes fall from the standard, but still he should be considered superior to all other philosophers and yogis.
Rishikesh Prabhu?
I'm driving, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be a perfectly saintly person. His accidental, non-devotional activities will diminish, and he will soon be situated without any doubt in complete perfection. The pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down because the Supreme Godhead personality takes care of his pure devotees. Therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. He will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna.
So we'll discuss this next week when we start. And this is such an important verse. Gajendra Prabhu, before you play your video, I just want to remind everybody that we're having a kirtan at Bond Park tomorrow at 5:30 to 7:30. And bring a chair, bring a blanket. We're going to meet at the boat house, which is off of High House, and then go out to one of the fields there. And we hope to have a lot of devotees, and we'll just sit far apart, and we'll just have a nice 2-hour kirtan. And I hope that some of you can come. It'd just be really nice to get together, and we're hoping the rain won't happen then, and we'll be very blissfully engaged in chanting the Lord's holy names. Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
Hey, I'll be there, Prabhu.
Well, we look forward to
Wonderful.
seeing you.
Wonderful.
If you want me to reserve the spot or something, I can go a little earlier.
Oh, if
Let
you
me
want
know.
to, yeah, if the weather is good, we're going to just try to get an area in that big field, where kids sled sometimes, and they sometimes play cricket there, and it's a big field there, kind of near the boathouse parking lot.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what we're thinking of.
Is it already reserved, or you want me to?
No, we don't have anything. Now, we don't have a shelter reserved. We're not talking, we're just going to do it out in the field. If you can get a shelter, that would be great. Then we don't care about the rain even.
Okay.
Short notice,
Sure
I don't think you'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I can check tomorrow morning and see whether the
Yeah,
shelter is open.
if you do find one, just text me and we'll get the news out to everybody. But otherwise, we were planning to do it out, out in the open.
Sure, I'll let you know, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Afternoon, I'll let you know.
So we have 5 minutes video. In our other spiritual satsang, Monday to Thursday night, 10:30 to 11, we have started reading Brahma Samhita.
Oh.
And I recorded yesterday. We'll just send a link to that also afterwards.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. So I thought I can play Govindam Adi Purusham.
That's nice.
Very nice.
Hear that. I'll also take a picture in between, so everyone keep smiling.
Okay. We'll sit here and be ready for a picture. Don't get up.
We sing this every morning. We've been doing it for years.
Hare Krishna.
Sundar, Sundar, Bahut Sundar.
Ati Sundar.
Like Bhakti Vikas Swami says, huh? Bahut sundar.
Right, so that was very nice.
Very good.
Sorry, I forgot to thank Sonali for reminding to share the video.
We could tell that you all are enjoying something that we could see from the
I
expression.
was wondering what was going on. I thought maybe we were just going to listen, but then it was so much nicer when we had the pictures. Thank you.
Nice. We'll play it again next Friday to see the whole video.
Okay.
Also, can you please share that link on the group?
Yes.
The
This
video that you played? Yes, please.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks for
Have
everyone to
a
be
good
here.
weekend.
Have a good week.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Hare
your
Krishna.
association.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
for organizing. Thank you very much.